Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. By His divine grace, Itri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva, that is Rudra Gita. Yesterday, we have done till 68, part of 68? No,
Part of 67.
Part of 67, yeah. So some discussion was remaining yesterday. So we'll go ahead with that. So Srila Prabhupada defines Mahatma as a personality who is Kshantihi, then Avyartha Kalatvam. So Avyartha Kalatva means not wasting time. Okay. So many times we will come across these expectations and we have to keep these expectations as the ideals and go on with our regular struggle trying to reach those expectations. Not that we become discouraged and feel that, oh, I cannot do it. And, not like that. We have to, we have to keep on struggling because we are a sadhaka, struggling sadhaka. Then there is aviraktihi, right? Progressively becoming detached from all material attractions, trying to spiritualize our attractions, right? The base nature is very difficult to change. Like one devotee, before coming to Krishna consciousness, this husband wife had always the idea of visiting various places, a lot of tourism and like that. Now the base nature cannot be changed, but that can be utilized. So now they of course they go to tourism also, but their primary tourism is visiting various temples across India and across the globe, ISKCON temples. And then they do sightseeing also, and then temple visit also, and take association also. Right. So this is. Then next is mana shunyata. One should not long for any material respect in return of his activities. Right. So what happens is whenever we do something, we are always waiting for credit or a pat on the back. So when we see somebody doing something good, we should be always very eager to appreciate. But we should not expect the same appreciation from people in general. Mahaprabhu calls this, later it comes, amanina manadena. That one should give respect to others, but one should not expect respect in return. And especially the material respect in the return of one's activities. And then next is Asha Bandha. Asha Bandha means one should be certain that Krishna will bestow mercy upon him. One should not become excessively morose or dejected for material or even spiritual reasons. Sometimes, we, now to in our case, my case, though, sometimes, we may just give a lecture on importance of food habits and come home and eat some 10 biscuits. Okay. So it is not that, you just become useless or something like that. No. one should have for the material activities and the spiritual activities. Sometimes, you may give a lecture on importance of attentive chanting, and pata nahi, the Maya will take revenge on you, and next 2 hours you will be scrolling and chanting. So, I mean, one has to keep on struggling. One should not be excessively dejected when there is a material or spiritual setback. So this is called as Asha Bandha. Realizing that, the lifetimes of a conditioning will take some time. One has to be sincere. At the same time, there are some cheat days, that one should be uh, tolerating oneself. What I mean is, we always encourage so many people. We always give a pat on the back of so many people. Generally, that's a nature of a devotee. So some pat on the back is expected on you yourself also. Okay, you are doing well, no problem, right? Self-consoling, self-encouraging, positive feedback to oneself. Realizing that Krishna is the personality who is always merciful upon his devotees, Bhakta Vatsala. So this is Asha Bandha. Hope against hope. I have a hope that Krishna will take care of me. And then Samutkantha, very eager to serve the Supreme Lord. Right? Such a beautiful name it is, Samutkantha. The wise man is always very eager to glorify the names of the Lord by chanting Namagani Tadaruchihi. That we have to positively increase our attraction towards the holy name by associating with those devotees who have attraction to the holy name, by hearing some camps. There are many japa workshops, so on and so forth. Right? Eager to describe transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord. So our hero is Krishna, Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, right? And we should be eager to describe, just like people, they are, you know, I had a person who was a fan of a Bruce Lee. We called him for a program, that boy, and he said, no, today is a very important day. Today is a Bruce Lee's appearance day, Bruce Lee Jayanti. And he was fasting whole day on that Bruce Lee Jayanti, and whole day he was watching the Bruce Lee movies. Dedicated fellow, right? So our hero is Krishna, and we should be. So this is, and then next is attracted to the places where the Lord has performed pastime. Pritistat vasati sthale. Right. And Prabhupada says these are the 10 symptoms of an advanced devotee. So when we say Mahatma Anastu Mam Partha or Mahatma Devim Prakritim Ashritaha, so this is the way how to take the shelter of Devim Prakritim Ashritaha. Right. And this is being referred as Pandita here. Yeah, please continue.
An advanced devotee, or a perfect human being who is actually wise and learned, cannot give up his service at the lotus feet of the Lord. Although Lord Brahma has a long lifespan, 4,320,000,000 years constitute 12 hours in a day of Brahma. Brahma is afraid of death and consequently engages in the devotional service of the Lord. Similarly, all the Manus who appear and disappear during the day of Brahma are also engaged in the Lord's devotional service. In Brahma's one day, 14 Manus appear and disappear. The first Manu is Swayambhuva Manu. Each Manu lives for 71 yugas, each constituting of some 4,320,000 years. Although the Manus have such a long lifespan, they still prepare for the next life by engaging in the devotional service of the Lord. In this age, human beings only live for 60 or 80 years, and even this small lifespan is gradually decreasing. Therefore, it is even more imperative for human beings to take to the worship of the lotus feet of the Lord by constantly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as recommended by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnunam amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Shikshashtaka 3. When one is engaged in the devotional service, he is often surrounded by envious people, and often many enemies come to try to defeat him or stop him. This is not new in this present age, for even in the days of your Prahlad Maharaj, who was engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, was harassed by his demoniac father Hiranyakashipu. The atheists are always prepared to harass a devotee. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suggested that one be very tolerant of these people. Nonetheless, one has to continue chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and preaching and chanting of this mantra, because such preaching and chanting constitute the perfection of life. One should chant and preach about the urgency of making this life perfect in all respects. One should thus engage in the devotional service of the Lord and follow in the footsteps of previous acharyas, beginning with Lord Brahma and others. Hare Krishna.
Now, further, Srila Prabhupada explains advanced devotee is a perfect human being and he's actually wise and learned, and therefore he will be always engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And here there is the example of Lord Brahma and Manus. Why? Because in the shloka itself, Lord Shiva is saying that my spiritual master and my father, Lord Brahma, and even the 14 Manus, the Manvantaras, all Manus, they relentlessly engage in your devotional service, my Lord. And Srila Prabhupada describes the lifespan of Brahma and how big is the one day of Brahma, 4,320,000,000 years, right? But still he is afraid of death and engages in devotional service. What that means is that one should not think I have a lot of time and आराम से करेंगे प्रभु जी क्या घाई है भक्ति is eternal, Krishna is eternal, soul is eternal, everything is eternal. थोड़ा let me take some time, but time will simply go like that. Just like when we do some time pass and how hours just slip off from our hands. Similarly, years may slip off simply waiting for things to settle and good time to come. Good time is now. Prabhupada says the Manus, they have 71 Divya Yugas at their disposal. There is a story of Lomas Rishi, and Lomas Rishi is meeting Yudhishthir Maharaj in Mahabharata, and he is very famous for having lot of hair on the body. And the benediction he has is that he will live for as many hairs, as many days of Brahma. Those many kalpas he will live. Kalpa is one day of Brahma. We know the calculation of Brahma's day. And this Lomas Rishi, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked him that, Rishiji, where is your ashram? And Lomas Rishi said, no, life is very short. I am not wasting my time in building my ashram. I am simply aniketa, wandering mendicant, so that I can achieve the lotus feet of the Lord. So, of course, here, not to go to another extreme that we don't want to have a house, but the point is that there has to be a sense of urgency. Srila Prabhupada quotes further that one has to be amanina manadena, because often we are surrounded by envious people and many enemies who are trying to defeat or stop our activities. And this is not a new phenomenon. Even in the olden times, Prahlad Maharaj was harassed by none other than his own father, right? And therefore, one has to be very tolerant towards these people. Trinadapi sunichena taror iva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. And there has to be practice and preaching of the kirtan. Prabhupada says one should chant and preach about the urgency of making this life perfect in all respect. Okay. Important word there is urgency. That the sense of urgency is very, very important for making a progress in spiritual life. And this is how one has to follow the previous acharyas, especially here in this case, Brahma and Swayambhuva Manu. Text 68. So this is the final verse of the prayer. And then Lord Shiva says, chant this mantra. Okay, so this is the final shloka of Rudra Gita, text 68. अथस्त्वमसिनो ब्रह्मन् परमात्मन विपश्चिताम् विश्वं रुद्रभयं ध्वस्तम् अकुदिश्च भयागतिः. Translation.
Translation. My dear Lord, all actually learned persons know you as the Supreme Brahman and the Super Soul. Although the entire universe is afraid of Lord Rudra, who ultimately annihilates everything, for the learned devotees, you are the fearless destination of all. Purport. For the purpose of creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this cosmic manifestation, there are three lords, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, Maheshwara. The material body is finished at the time of annihilation. Both the universal body and the small unit, the individual living entity's body, are susceptible to annihilation at the ultimate end. However, the devotees do not fear the annihilation of the body, for they are confident that after the annihilation, they will go back home, back to Godhead. Tyaktava deham punarjanma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. If one strictly follows the process of devotional service, he has no fear of death, for he is predestined to go back home, back to Godhead. The non-devotees are fearful of death because they have no guarantee of where they are going or for the type of body they are going to get in the next life. The word Rudra Bhaya is significant in this verse because Rudra himself, Lord Shiva, speaking of fear of Rudra. This indicates that there are many Rudras, 11 Rudras, and the Rudra, Lord Shiva, who was offering this prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is different from the other Rudras, although he is as powerful as they are. The conclusion is that one Rudra is afraid of another Rudra because each and every one of them is engaged in the destruction of this cosmic manifestation. But for the devotee, everyone is afraid of Rudra, even Rudra himself. A devotee is never afraid of Rudra because he is always secure, being protected by the lotus feet of the Lord. As Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.31, Kautanya pratijanahi na me bhaktah pranasyati. My dear Arjuna, you may declare publicly that my pure devotee will not be vanquished under any circumstances. Hare Krishna.
Now Lord Shiva prays, my dear Lord, all actually learned people know you as the Supreme Brahman and the Super Soul. Entire world is afraid of Rudra Bhaya, Lord Rudra, who ultimately annihilates everything. For the learned devotee, you are the fearless destination of all. Right. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that whenever there is a material body, there will be destruction of the body. Bhagavad Gita also explains this. Jatasya dhruvo mrityum. For one who is born, death is certain. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. And for one who is dead, the birth is certain. Dhruvam means certainty. Right. Jatasya dhruvo mrityu. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. So the material body is finished at the time of annihilation, but not soul is not finished. Right. So the soul continues the journey based on the urdhvam gachanti satvastha, the life the soul has led. And if the soul is a spiritual, has practiced the spiritual life, then it can go back home, back to Godhead, never to come back. Tattva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. And therefore, Prabhupada says, if one strictly follows the process of devotional service, he has no fear of death, for he is predestined to go back home, back to Godhead. So there are many bhaya in this world, but a devotee should be abhaya. And therefore, Prabhupada's name is also Abhaya Charana Aravinda. Correct. So abhaya means he is certain. Where he's going? He's going back home, back to Godhead. Or some better plan of the Lord to continue his spiritual activities. Otherwise, the entire world is filled with Rudra Bhaya. Rudra Bhaya means the fear of death, the fear of destruction. So much so, Prabhupada says there are 11 Rudras, and even one Rudra is afraid of another Rudra because everybody is destructing. And these Rudras are thinking maybe one Rudra may destroy me. And therefore, Prabhupada says that the Lord Shiva offering these prayers is not part of the 11 Rudras. He is different from them. He is, Lord Shiva himself. Rudra is the expansion. So everybody is afraid of Rudra, but devotee is never afraid of Rudra because he is always secure at the lotus feet of the Lord. And Lord has given his own guarantee. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranashyati. That my devotee will never perish, will never be vanquished under any circumstance. Right? There are so many difficult circumstances in the life of a devotee, in life of everyone, and including the life of a devotee as well. Right? There are untimely deaths, there are diseases, there are diseases to personally himself, herself, or to our loved ones. But a devotee is confident that all this is coming as a reduced token punishment by the virtue of whatever faulty devotional service I am able to render. And therefore, he is always very grateful, ready to go through the life, and he is unafraid of these situations. He may be troubled, but he is unafraid. He knows that Avashya Rakshive Krishna. Text 69. Idam japada bhadram vo vishuddha nrupanandanaah स्वधर्मम् अनुतिष्ठन्तो भगवत्यार्पिताशयः. Translation.
My dear sons of the king, just execute your occupational duty as kings with a pure heart. Just chant this prayer, fixing your mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. That will bring you all good fortune, for the Lord will be very much pleased with you. Purport: the prayers offered by Lord Shiva are very authoritative and significant. Simply by offering prayers to the Supreme Lord, one can become perfect, even though engaged in his occupational duty. The real purpose of life is to become a devotee of the Lord. It does not matter where one is situated, whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, American, Englishman, Indian, etc. One can execute devotional service anywhere and everywhere in the material existence simply by offering prayers unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is also a prayer, for a prayer addresses the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his name and invokes good fortune by petitioning the Lord to allow one to engage in his devotional service. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra also says, "My dear Lord Krishna, my dear Lord Rama, O energy of the Lord, Hare, kindly engage me in your service." Although one may be situated in a lowly position, he can execute devotional service under any circumstance, as stated, Ahetuki apratihataha. Devotional service cannot be checked by any material condition. Bhagavatam 1.2.6 Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended this process. Jnane prayasam udapasya namanta eva jivanti sanmukharitam भवदीया वार्तां स्थाने स्थिताः श्रुति गतां तनुवान् मनोभिर ये प्रायसो जीतोपि असि तैस्त्रीलोक्यम. Bhagavatam 10.14.3. One may remain situated in his own place or in his own occupational duty and still lend his ear to receive the message of the Lord from realized souls. The Krishna conscious movement is based on this principle, and we are opening centers all over the world to give everyone a chance to hear the message of Lord Krishna in order to go back home, back to Godhead.
Yeah. Now Lord Shiva says, Idam japata bhadrambo. Japata, right? While chanting. So, Bhadram, all auspiciousness will come to you. Vishuddha Nrupanandana. O my dear sons of the great King Prachina Barhi, O Prachetas, Idam japata bhadrambo. Swadharmam anutishtanto bhagavatyarpita ashaya. Bhagavad Gita in Bhagavatam, right? Swadharmam anutishtanto. Please follow your swadharma. Anutishtanto and Bhagavatartita ashaya. At the same time, do all the activities as an offering to the Supreme Lord. Ashaya. Possessing all kinds of faithfulness. Arpita. Very beautiful verse this is. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains these are the powerful prayers offered by Lord Shiva, Rudra Gita. These are very authoritative and significant. And simply by chanting these prayers, one can become perfect, even though engaged in the occupational duties. One may be engaged in various occupational duties, but one will perfect by simply by chanting, offering these prayers. And Prabhupada says, devotees also offer prayers. Where Prabhupada says the prayer is addressing the Lord, and we are everyday chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And this japa itself is a prayer. Very amazing Mahamantra this is. And it should be chanted in the mood of prayer that my dear Lord Krishna, my dear Lord Rama, my dear Lord, energy of the Lord Hare, please engage me in your devotional service. This is the mood while chanting the holy names. Right. And that ahituki apratihata, devotional service, cannot be checked by any material condition. So instead of lamenting of one's material condition, recently I met a devotee. He has a merchant navy job. So merchant navy job means for 182 days, and he has to qualify that NRI quota, NRE, non-resident employee. He has to be 182 days he's on the ship continuously. And he says that, Prabhuji, this is very hard earned money. That we work almost like 18 to 20 hours a day when we are on the ship, and we get 181 days off. And people, they say that, क्या मजा कर रहे हो यार, 181 days मस्त मजा है आपका, 6 महीना ऑफ मिला. So, so what the point is we may have some material condition, and we not necessarily we have to change everything. Of course, we have to change the material condition to become more favorable towards the execution of devotional activities progressively, slowly. But idea is not that give up matter. Sthane sthita shruti gatan tanuvak manobhi. Prabhupada says that's why we are opening so many centers, so that there will be facility to hear about the Supreme Lord and thus perfect one's life and go back home, back to Godhead. Text 70. तमेवात्मानमात्मस्थं सर्वभूतेषु वस्थितं पूजयध्वं गृणन्तश्च ध्यायन्तश्च असत्कृत्हरिम्. Translation.
Therefore, O Son of the King, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is situated in everyone's heart. He is also within your hearts. Therefore, chant the glories of the Lord and always meditate upon him continuously. Purport. The word ashakrat is significant, for it means not just for a few minutes, but continuously. That is the instructions given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshashtaka. Kirtaniya Sadahari. The holy name of the Lord should be chanted 24 hours daily. Therefore, in this Krishna consciousness movement, we request the devotees to chant at least 16 rounds on their beads daily. Actually, one has to chant 24 hours daily, just like Thakur Haridas, who was chanting the Hare Krishna mantra 300,000 times daily. पहले वो खत्म करो. Just like Thakur Haridas, who was chanting the Hare Krishna mantra 300,000 times daily. Indeed, he had no other business. Some of the Goswamis, like Raghunath Das Goswami, were also chanting very rigidly and also offering obeisances very rigidly. As stated in Sri Nivasacharya's prayer to the 6 Goswamis, Sad Goswami Ashtaka, Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibhi Kala Vashani Krito. The word Sankhya Purvaka means maintaining a numerical strength. Not only was Raghunath Das Goswami chanting the holy names of the Lord, but he was also offering obeisances in the specific prolific numbers. Because the princes were ready to enter into some severe austerity in order to worship the Lord, Lord Shiva advised them to constantly chant of and meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is significant that Lord Shiva personally offered his prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as he was taught by his father, Lord Brahma. Similarly, he was also preaching to the princes according to the Parampara system. One not only should practice the instructions received from the spiritual master, but should also distribute this knowledge to one's disciples. The word Atmanam Atma Stham Sarva Bhuteshu Avasthitam are also significant. The personality of Godhead is the origin of all living entities. Because the living entities are parts and parcels of the Lord, he is the father of all of them. One cannot search out the Supreme Lord very easily within one's heart, for he is situated in every living entity's heart. In this verse, the process of worshipping the Lord is considered to be very easy and complete, for anyone can sit down anywhere in any condition of life and simply chant the holy names of the Lord. By chanting and hearing, one automatically engages in meditation. Hare Krishna.
Now Lord Shiva says that, dear prince, Rajaputra, focus yourself on Lord Hari, who is situated in everybody's heart. Sarva Bhuteshu Avasthitam. Chant his glories and always meditate on him continuously. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains the word asakrit. Asakrit means that not some for few minutes, but it is continuously kirtaniya sadahari satatam kirtayantoma. And that's why Prabhupada said that we are asking our ISKCON people to chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra on their beads daily. And we are following in the footsteps of Namacharya Haridas Thakur, who is to chant 192 rounds every day. Right. And he had no other business, Prabhupada writes. And there are many Goswamis also. Raghunath Das Goswami used to chant 128 rounds every day and offer 2,000 obeisances to Vaishnavas every day, very rigidly. Sankhya Purvaka Namagana Natibhi. Sometimes people say, Kahan se aaya 16 rounds? No. Prabhupada writes here, one has to maintain the numerical strength with a prolific number. And therefore, actual expectation is Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. Lowered expectation is 192 rounds. Still lowered is 64 rounds. Absolute lowered is at least 16 rounds. But one has to chant and count. There is importance of Sankhya as well. And then further Srila Prabhupada describes that how one should not only practice this knowledge, one should also preach this knowledge and spread to as many people as we can. The Lord is situated in everybody's heart. Hridayastha. And he is situated in the heart of all living entities. And thus one should sit, anyone can sit down anywhere under any condition and simply chant the holy names of the Lord. And by chanting and hearing, one will automatically engage in meditation. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.